We spent weeks digging through hundreds of Texas barndominiums, hill country builds, ranch retreats, million-dollar compounds with private guest casitas looking for the one that stops you mid-scroll. And we found it. Dark metal exterior, limestone accents, a porch so deep you could live on it. But here's the part nobody talks about. The home that looks the most expensive is almost never the one that costs the most to build. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why and you'll be able to spot the difference yourself. Before we go inside, if you're even a little bit obsessed with barndominiums like we are, hit subscribe now because we're about to break down the real 2026 numbers behind this build. And trust me, the cost breakdown near the end changes how you'll look at every barndo listing from here on out. Steel, space, and the Texas search boom. Let's start with the obvious question, why Texas and why now? Over the last 5 years, interest in barndominiums has grown across the country, but one state has stayed at the very top of the search charts the entire time. Texas. It's not close. Right now, there are close to 900 barndominiums listed for sale across the state, sitting on the market for an average of about 130 days, with an average price around $373 per square foot and a median list price hovering near $600,000. That's not a niche hobby anymore, that's a full-blown housing category. What makes Texas different? Builders we researched point to a few reasons. Texas leads the pack: wide open rural land, fewer restrictions in unincorporated counties, and a climate where steel framing genuinely outperforms traditional wood construction. Steel resists the heat, resists storm damage, and needs a lot less upkeep over time. In a state with brutal summers and unpredictable severe weather, that's not just an aesthetic choice, it's a practical one. The formula nobody admits is a formula. Here's what we noticed after going through dozens of these homes: the most beautiful ones aren't the most complicated. They follow a surprisingly consistent formula. A dark metal exterior, natural stone or limestone accents at the base, a deep covered porch, oversized windows aimed straight at the view, and restraint everywhere else. The homes that try to do 20 different design moves at once almost always look worse than the ones that commit to 3 or 4 and execute them well. Inside, the same rule applies. Inside, it's the same idea. White walls to keep things bright, exposed beams for texture, wide plank wood floors to ground the space, then matte black fixtures and simple cabinetry so the whole thing doesn't tip over into theme park Western territory. It's a careful balance, rugged enough to feel authentic, refined enough to feel like a real home. First impressions, so let's actually walk through one of the standout builds. We found a hill country barndo that kept coming up again and again while we were researching, and it's easy to see why. From the driveway, the dark corrugated metal siding contrasts against pale limestone accents at the porch base, and that porch itself runs the entire width of the house. The great room step through the front door and the ceiling jumps to somewhere between 12 and 16 feet, a signature move in barndominium design, since the same steel trusses that make the shop bay possible also let you open up the main living space without a forest of interior support columns. The result is a great room that feels enormous even at a modest square footage. Kitchen and living. The kitchen leans into that same open concept philosophy, a large island, sightlines straight through to the living area, and big windows that flood the whole space with natural light for most of the day. Builds like this one typically land somewhere around 3,200 to 3,600 finished square feet once you count in lofts and covered porches, which is a comfortable size for a family without tipping into unnecessary excess. The primary suite and beyond homes at this level often include a primary suite with its own private terrace, a detached guest casita for visiting family, and sometimes an outdoor kitchen or a plunge pool tucked into the covered patio. The idea is that the property functions almost like a small compound: living space, guest space, and workspace, all designed to work together instead of feeling bolted on. The detail that sells it, but here's the detail that actually makes a barndominium like this feel expensive without necessarily being extravagant: orientation. The best builds position the glazing and the main living spaces to face the best views on the property. You're not paying extra for decoration. You're paying to frame something that was already there. Why the price tag isn't what you think? Now let's talk numbers, because this is where most videos get it wrong. Barndominium costs in Texas swing dramatically depending on exactly where you build. East Texas tends to have lower land costs, but you'll spend more clearing lots and managing drainage. Central Texas has higher land prices and stricter permitting, especially near Austin and San Antonio. North Texas, around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, tends to land somewhere in the middle with strong contractor availability. West Texas has cheaper land, but utility installation can run higher because you're often further from existing infrastructure. Turnkey versus DIY. On top of location, there's the build method itself. Managing your own subcontractors, permits, and scheduling can lower your total cost, but it adds real risk and real complexity if you've never done it before. That's exactly why so many buyers end up going with a turnkey barndominium builder, someone who handles design through completion as one continuous process rather than a dozen separate handoffs. The actual market numbers as of right now in 2026, the average barndominium in Texas is listing around $373 per square foot, with a median price near $600,000 across the state. Smaller, simpler builds, think 1,000 to 1,400 square feet with a modest shop, can come in well under that, sometimes in the low 200,000s. Larger luxury builds with guest casitas, pools, and finished shop bays regularly push past $1 million. Here's the thing that convinced us this trend has real staying power. Instead of just being a passing aesthetic, barndominiums solve an actual problem. You get durability against Texas heat and storms, lower long-term maintenance, and design flexibility that a conventional home just doesn't offer, all while often coming in cheaper per square foot than new conventional construction in the same area. That combination, beauty and practicality in the same build, is rare, and it's exactly why the search interest keeps climbing instead of fading. So if you've been sitting on the idea of building one yourself, or you just love watching these tours as much as we do, stick around, because we've got a full breakdown of what it actually costs to build one of these from the ground up, region by region, coming up right after this.